And to discuss further on the general conduct of the polls and the performance of the key actors, we're now joined by Faith Nwadishi, Executive Director, Center for Transparency Advocacy. Very warm welcome to News Night.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
The same swan song, the same story, voters' apathy is getting worse and worse in Nigeria. What are your thoughts here?
I think the fact is that a lot of Nigerians are yet to understand that they have a key role to play in sustaining our democracy. The fact that a lot of them don't also understand that they are CEOs of the country because of their voters card, they're still waiting for others to take the first step for them. So when people don't see it as a responsibility to come out to vote, you go to register because maybe somebody needs you to present your voters card. You don't see it as a priority to have a voters card to help to fire and hire people. Then people don't take it seriously. And that's where we are going to. And especially when people think that they're doing others a favor, not really themselves playing the role to ensure that they take part, they are central in the decisions that is being taken. So people tend to just relax because it's like they are the ones that should do it, we are not the ones and we are not part of it.
Is the political class cashing in on this because of the ignorance of the people about their rights and power? As you said, they are chief executive officers to those that they elect because they are willing to sell their votes.
Yes, definitely. That's why you see a lot of politicians, rather than use money to campaign and get the people to believe in their ideologies, believe in their programs, they are ready to wait on election day to pay for people's votes. And people are not beginning to realize the fact that because votes are now counting, politicians are investing in those votes because you don't put your money where you will not get a return on investment. So politicians are putting money aside so that they can buy votes on election day, and people are willing to go out there to just collect that and wait for the next round of elections to also collect that. And so the politicians are smarter for it. They are cashing in on it. They are staying back. They are not doing the hard work. They are not campaigning. They just do a show of campaign that they have campaigned. They go to certain places. They don't go to other places. In the past, politicians actually will go from home to home campaigning, getting people to come out to vote, even though we knew that at that time rigging of elections and people's votes, they don't count, because we had in the past in this country where we were still on the field observing election and results were being declared in this country. But we are having a turnaround around that, and politicians are coming back from the fields. They are going to the polling units, waiting for citizens to pay for their votes.
It's like selling one's right for a mesh of porridge.
Exactly.
Would you say that politically or democratically there's development positively in the system?
Well, if you ask me, especially in the electoral system,
particularly for the local government election, that's grassroots, governance and leadership, where development is supposed to spring up to the center. How far or how well will you describe the political or democratic development of this country?
Unfortunately, because we have INEC conduct only the area council elections, we allow the state electoral commissions conduct the local government elections. What we have at local government elections at state level is a different picture from what we saw today. There is no state and there is no exception, irrespective of whatever political power party is in power. When it comes to local government elections, there are no elections, they are more like selections. So at the end of the day, you have 36 states conduct local government elections, and in fact some states don't even have local governments in place. So development at that level is zero. Most times what you have are appointed political appointees of the governor, and so you leave aside development at local government level, and everybody is looking at what is happening at state level. And because we don't have that bottom top approach for development, you have development at state level. There are roads, they're constructed, people have some semblance of what they call democracy dividends, but it doesn't permeate to the ground. grassroots level, where we actually should see that is where the citizens can engage the people they have elected. And because there is that disconnect, you have a lot of people putting their eyes on maybe people who are members of House of Assembly, and the members of the House of Assembly now have to do what members at the local government level and executive are supposed to do, and the people base their performance on what the member of the legislator who has been in the House for 4 years, never raised the motion, never supported the motion, but is able to put a borehole in the community, is able to buy one keke napep for somebody, is adjudged the best legislator or the best politician. So we have that disconnect because people no longer connect at the local government level. We don't have local government governance. Nothing is happening there. The people don't have that closeness. So the only way to do that is to get people at state level who one way or the other don't even have constituency offices. They don't have any allegiance to those people at the grassroots level, because at the end of the day what happens is, even if I have to do this, the people just know that if I give them peanuts, they see me once in a while. That's the kind of development that we're seeing.
That's saying systemic franchising
exactly.
of the people. But let's look at the council election in the Federal Capital Territory today, and with INEC as the supervisor. Should we be having the Anambra experience where Beavers was failing in just a council election, where the number of voters, just a little over 1 million voters. The turnout, of course, would not be up to 500,000. You saw in our report a lot of them at various recreational centers and the rest.
Yeah, I was also on the field today. I went to Barry Area Council and in Amak, and we had about 150 observers that we deployed that were sending in reports. Unfortunately, this is a local government election and people didn't connect to it. The beavers, from what we found out, was that a lot of the people who were supposed to handle the beavers didn't have the required capacity to handle the beavers. That was one of the major things that happened. And then there were little bit technological tweaks around the beavers. For instance, there was a particular polling unit I went to in Buhari local government area. I got there and they had issues. There was a call that was put across to the supervisor. In less than 10 minutes, they came and they rectified that problem. And as soon as they rectified that problem, they started the normal way of accreditation. But all they had to do was to get the voters to smile to the camera, and the beaver started working. And because people were already there, they were tense. There was a particular woman, we had to practically beg her to smile. Said, no, I'm not smiling. Why should I smile? The federal government paying me to come out here. And I tried to tell her that federal government doesn't have to pay you. This is your responsibility as the CEO of the country to do that. And she started smiling. In fact, she laughed, and then the beavers just walked. She was accredited. So every other person had to come along the line. And then also that
Isn't that a very funny feature? I mean, for the beavers.
Yeah, no,
should they be so?
No, but for me, the lesson I learned there is that in our elections, people are just too tense. In our elections have become more like battlegrounds. So you are going to an election ground from your home. You're already tensed going to an election. That's this a lighter side of it, but a very big lesson came out for me there, because at the time we got that woman to laugh, and the political party agents were also laughing. There was this kind of calmness that came on that polling unit. So on one hand, the beavers was not working, but on the other hand, the beavers started working when people were smiling.
Okay,
and I thought
Faith, very quickly before we let you go, tell us about the security situation was spot on from what Arise News gathered.
Yes.
But how about the issue of thuggery again, rearing its head, like we heard in that report from Orozo?
Yes. Yes, unfortunately, that's what is happening.
And did your observers, I mean, those who
no.
What's the general report from?
Generally, the general report was that of calmness. You know, the Rosso incident happened after 2:30 when, because of the crowd and things like that. But between the hours of 8:30 to 2:30, we didn't really have any reports of incidents of violence, even though we had spotted some flash points around that. But the fact again is that the political class are yet to understand that we are making progress in our electoral system, and the old ways no longer work. They still use the old ways, trying to disrupt elections, trying to make things go their own way, not really sitting down to understand the incremental progress we are making in our electoral system in Nigeria, and then put strategies in place. Because, for instance, why would you go to disrupt elections in a place? Why would you go to buy votes in a place? Why wouldn't you stay and do the right thing?
Yeah, a lot of why is there,
exactly.
You know, to be answered, and let's just hope that by the time the new electoral bill, the amended one, is signed into law, things will get better, and voters' apathy will be a thing of the past. Faith Nwadishi, Executive Director, Center for Transparency Advocacy. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.